Okay, so today what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to do standard deviation and means and stuff like that on your calculator. So first thing we're going to do is look at the data from the football packet that we did. Can you tell me on the football packet, on the front side, what were the 6 scores we used in our standard deviation? Nathan, you want to list them off?
For the Vikings?
Mm-hmm.
17, 28, 24, 21, 20, and 13.
Okay, can you also tell us what our final standard deviation turned out to be?
Is it 4.79?
Okay. All right, that's what we got when we calculated it by hand. All right, so here's how you do this. You can take notes as we go about the process I'm doing it, and I'll do it nice and slow. First, you're going to hit the Stat button, which is right here. And you're going to hit Enter on Edit. Jessica and Autumn, would you please sit next to each other? Well, actually, who's posted partners this week? Who's posted partners with Carlos? Okay, then can you two work together? All right, so please sit right next to each other. I want you guys doing this together on the calculators. All right, does anybody's list have numbers in there already?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's how you clear that. Everybody look up. If you use the up arrow, like let's say that we had some numbers in that list. If you go to L1, which means list 1, and you hit the clear button, it looks like nothing happens, and if you hit the down arrow, everything clears. That way you don't have to delete all of them individually. Does everybody's on top of their screen say L1, L2, L3? Show your partner that it says L1, L2, L3.
You go up, clearing.
Are you too good?
Wait, go up, use that one. Different, clear. And down. And then do that for the other one.
Does anybody have any different numbers than L1, L2, and L3 on top of there?
And then goes to L5.
That's fine. Yours does too, we just have to arrow over, but I'm just wondering if anybody's missing a list. Does it say L1, L2, L3? Cool. All right, so under L1, we're going to type in these numbers right here, 17, enter, 28, enter, 24, 21, 20, and 13. If you did it right, your blank spot should be right here. This says L17. What do you think that means?
7 one.
The 7th spot on list 1. Okay. All right, now we're going to get out of there because this is just a place to put our data. So we're going to hit second quit. You don't have to save it. Second quit is the second mode button right there. Now we're going to hit stat again. And this time, you're going to go to calc. So arrow over on the right to calc. So you hit stat, calc. Show your partner that you're on the right screen right now. And then hit enter on one variable stats. It should say a screen like this. It asks you what list you want to look at. We want L1 because we all put it in L1. Frequency list, you don't need to worry about that, and then you're going to hit calculate. All right, so let's talk about what these things are. What's X bar? I know, but what does it mean? Like, what is X bar?
The average, right?
Yeah, it's the mean, it's the average. So there's your average right there, which we had found, right, when we had done this, that our x bar was 20.5. What do you think this one means? When there's an E and an X?
That's like the data added up.
Yeah, it's the summation of all the data. This is the summation of all the data squared, which might come into play in a different thing. S, do you remember what S is? Do you know?
I was just gonna say summation, but not.
S is sample standard deviation. That's the one we learned yesterday. Sigma is population standard deviation. The only reason there's an X after it is it's saying the population standard deviation of this data set is, do you see how that number is 4.78 and we had 4.79, but rounded up it would have been 4.79? So that's how easy it is. N is 6. What does that mean? Six numbers. Hit the down arrow. We're going to keep looking. It'll tell you your minimum. It'll tell you your first quartile, which will come into play when we make box and whisker plots. It tells you your median, your third quartile, and your maximum number, which really helps when you're doing box and whisker plots. So for this test that's coming up, I am probably going to have you do one more by hand, standard deviation. And then after that, the rest of this class and in AP Stats, you'll be able to use this the whole time. But I will probably do a review with you every once in a while in AP Stats to make sure you remember how, because they do often ask questions like, they'll have like one of their multiple choice questions will be like a standard deviation in progress and then ask you what the next step is. So that's, yeah. Okay, so we proved that this works for this. Now we're going to do it again. This time I want you to turn to your notes from yesterday where we did sample standard deviation. It should be in your notebook. Okay, can somebody tell me those numbers that we used? Wasn't that like how many houses we can see from our house?
8, 9, 12, 15, 11, 4.
15, 11, and what? 4. And what did our sample standard deviation turn out to be?